When last we left our adventurers, they had found themselves in a dark reflection of their own world. And more so, met odd individuals. A older, but not quite Veritas elf. A wolfman that has a striking resemblance to Virgil, and a small, childlike vampire. Introductions could not be made, however, as those three were currently being chased by the last of the oddities, Chelavi, but definitely not quite. A fight ensued with gibbering mocks coming out of every direction, mouths and teeth and eyes covering the bodies, ooze everywhere, but they were able to prevail and keep moving. Meanwhile, another individual, one that we haven't quite met yet, stands with a robed wizard. The familiar the familiar visage of Gregson, the one that had sent the odd trio out to find the Blackstaff. Daitura, would you describe yourself?
Datura is a Shadar Kai. He is clad in dark armor from head to toe with a helmet in the shape of a raven's beak and a dark cloak and hood. I've got the art somewhere.
An old companion.
Indeed. He is a plains-hopping assassin, basically, for the Raven Queen. Yeah. Once did battle with Strahd von Zarvich on her behalf. So he just goes wherever the Queen bids. And that appears to be here and now, in this place.
Yes. The wizard next to you seems to be tapping his foot and looking a bit impatient, as well as nervous, looking around. You are in the, what is called the, the Undercliff, over on the eastern side of Waterdeep. You are protecting him as the location of exfil for the rest of the team that went in. But it seems that they're starting to take a little bit longer than was originally expected. They should have been here by now.
Indeed, they should have. This place, it smells so wrong.
More wrong than that. If they take any longer, we're going to have to leave without them.
An acceptable loss, I'm sure.
Unfortunately, not exactly. What they were sent after is far too important. In the distance, however, you look out to the west, and you can see far in towards the coastline, you see this deep red glow appear. And then, suddenly, about a mile where that red glow was, something that hasn't been seen in this land for nigh on a year, sunlight beams down directly on that spot. And looking at its source, you see the Eye of Stillhavity. Gods above.
Well, that certainly looks like the place to be.
They've likely woken up the nest with that.
I think I know where to find them now.
I'm going to make preparations to get us out of here. You need to find them.
As you command. Do not expire in my absence.
Oh, I feel a little bit safer knowing that pretty much everything alive is heading in that direction, away from me.
And then he teleports off a roof and is gone.
Alright. We get him back to the individuals running and running. I would like all of you to make Constitution saving throws as well as stealth checks.
I can't tell which virginal is exhausted.
On saving throw for me is 16.
16, okay.
Stealth is
Well, I'll tell you one thing. The wolf is not looking too good.
No, nice. That's a blend. I'm sorry, what was that?
10 stealth.
10 for stealth. Okay. Okay. Some actually pretty decent rolls from everyone. I will say, though, that unfortunately, Wolf Jill fails his con save. DC was 15. So unfortunately, he gains a point of exhaustion. Kind of fitting, given how he is most definitely the worst one in the group looking. But nevertheless, all of you sprinting off, away from the tower, away from the Mox, away from the commander. And eventually you are able to dive and weave between what's left of the rubble that is Waterdeep, and you're able to find a place where you could catch your breath, if only for a moment. What do you do?
Quickly, as he just ducks down into this little space, he casts non-detection on himself. doing a head count, seeing if anyone is not here.
You do your head count, and the math is all sorts of wrong. For starters, you are missing one that you came with. You are missing Wes.
Yes.
Albeit, from what you knew about him, if anyone could escape unscathed by themselves, it was Wes. And, further throwing off the count, you seem to have picked up several more people, a couple of which disturb you. One of which looking strikingly similar to one of your companions, and the other you know for certain is a mock and looks a lot like all of your sworn enemy.
Well, it looks like there's a bit of reprieve. And I will say my thanks for aiding our escape. But there are some questions that need to be asked. And they need to be asked now.
Yeah, understandable. Definitely, Eve says, kind of staring around at alternate Virgil and Veritas. First things first, is everyone alright? How hurt are all of you?
I am fine for the most part. I can still move my legs.
Is that where the bar is?
You seem like you're not familiar with how things are around here. It's pretty desperate as things go.
Yeah, we're pretty out of the loop. As far as I understand. Kind of fill us in. I mean, just processors around. I can't control.
I can't hear you, Colin.
Do you want to fill us in? Okay.
I'm boosting you up a bit.
Okay.
Looking over to you, Bosch, he just says, well, this is you being here. You've traveled to the material plane. And maybe it was some force or something that brought you here, but you were in the middle of, or you got between us and a very important mission to retrieve something valuable from Waterdeep.
From Waterdeep.
Yes.
This place is... Max,
Hmm.
I don't know how to determine if Eve would put together the details that we've been given or not. Because, and Virgil as well, because Virgil and Eve were present when Cass explained all about different versions of the prime material plane and echoes and all of that.
Hmm.
Is there a role that I would do to see if Eve could put those dots together in a very stressful situation?
What do I make that roll?
Virgil could do it too, probably.
Listen, my cleric is not the smartest, alright?
I would actually, I wouldn't actually put this to intelligence. I would actually put this to insight.
Mm.
And I don't want just Eve and Virgil to make this roll. I would also like Leilani and Virgil to make this roll as well.
Oh,
For different reasons.
Interesting. Okay.
Making this
Eve has
character's
no idea.
100% backfiring. Okay. Cleric. Here comes the cleric roll. Of course. Here's Wolfie. Wow, Wolfie fucking gets it.
Okay. So Eve, you feel like it's on the tip of your tongue as to what this is, but there's too much going on. Things need to get sorted out. Virgil, you kind of remember that conversation with Cass and think maybe this is it. Now, so that's what Eve and Virgil knows. As for Leilani and Virgil, especially Wolfjill, the two of you get this sense like something is watching you. And Wolfjill feels the source of that from within their own mind. There is something in his mind that is watching you. That's when that 20 gets you.
And I would, and I have to ask, why is it that there's someone among you that looks just like Virgil over there, but as a vampire? And more disturbingly, why do you have a mock with you?
Well, I got my own questions to ask too, but I'll answer yours real quick. No problem. One, she's our friend, and she's been helping us for some time. Two, I am Virgil. I don't know who the fuck that is. Now, my questions are, when the hell were you able to actually do all of that? And why didn't you just turn into the fucking sword so we could kill those things quicker?
Looks at you directly in the eyes. I think you have me mistaken for someone else. 'Cause I've only met that Virgil, and not for that long. be it 3 days or so.
Veritas, buddy, you're not making any sense to me, alright? We came through the portal, you were behind me. When we got here, we were split. For some reason, you got into the shit, and we had to come and save your ass. None of this is making sense.
Listen, I don't know who the fuck you people are, but this snot-nosed brat has been in the company of this group for the past several hours at least. Whatever portal you're talking about, unless it was a long time ago, had nothing to do with this one.
Also, my name isn't Veritas. It's Aegis.
When the hell did you come up with that name?
That was given to me by my mother in the Feywild.
I'm sorry, we just left that place. Who... Maybe we might have ran into her. Who's your mom? Like, does she run a house with a bunch of feet and kind of runs an inn, or... I don't know. She a toad?
You ever heard of Evermeet?
I'm looking over at Eve for this one.
Eve is just sitting at the corner between the wall and the floor, and there are just tears running down her face. She is not paying attention to anything that's happening.
Oh, fuck. Alright.
Virgil can make a history check to see if he's heard of that city.
Okay.
It is possible. You've heard rumors about this city that is sometimes there, sometimes not there. Definitely a magical city that seems to have some kind of connection with the Fae, but as soon as you get to that part of the conversation where it has that heavy influence with Fae, you just kind of tune it out.
Yeah, 100% accurate. No, I don't know. We just left a place called Prismere, alright? And we left there because it was hell of a place. Did not enjoy it at all. Some of us did, not me. And we were trying to get the fuck back home. Something happened on the way there, and now we're here. What the fuck is going on?
So you've been...
So actually, I'll say, Aegis, you've never heard of Prismere.
I don't know of a place called Prismere in the Feywild. And you say that this place, the Prime Material Plane, is your home.
Yeah, I'm from Neverwinter. I'm assuming Eve here is from Waterdeep. Bosch over there. I think he's from the Fae. I'm not 100% sure. Still trying to connect all those dots. Fucking exhausted from the Fae.
Well,
Where are we and what are we doing?
Well, and it does seem like you're out of place and out of time here. Pointing over to that light in the, like the sunlight that's streaming out there. That in the sky there is still Havity. When he destroyed the material plane a year ago.
A year ago?
We've been gone for an entire year.
That's not possible. She told us that it would be within a week of when we left. That's not possible.
Fucking knew going to that place was gonna fuck us over.
I would like to let you know that we are what's left, and we are trying our hardest to stop that.
Wait, you three? That's it?
There's more that we're trying to meet up with.
Oh, thank God.
How?
How many? You have a number of your troops?
A mixture of civilians and troops that live amongst the Underdark. I've been helping them with basic necessities and as well as small missions above ground with varying rates of success.
How
Hold on.
many of the people of this city? How many of them were lost?
I don't have that information. For I was sent here when things were already very dire. Waterdeep was lost when I arrived.
I'm so sorry.
You're telling me that everybody that isn't one of those things are under the ground now?
Yes.
What the fuck? How? There's... And Virgil's just like dumbfounded as he thinks they completely, utterly failed.
All of you notice that that you are not alone. As Datura, you have found your quarry.
You must be the ones causing problems.
Looks over at Datura. Well, has the cavalry arrived? As Aegis stands up.
In a manner of speaking, I left the mage at the exfiltration site and sent Wes ahead to guide you there, but I do not see him.
We lost sight of him during the retrieval of the item.
But you did retrieve it.
Yes. I will be sure to deliver it.
Very well. His fate is in the hands of the Queen, but we must go.
Looks over to these strangers. Well, I am still a bit hesitant about you all, but for now, we need to get moving. You can stay here, or you can come with us.
What? At this, Leilani kind of looks sharply over at Aegis and moves a little bit closer and hisses to him. They have a fucking mock with them. You want to bring them down into the area that holds the rest of the survivors of your pitiful city. I thought you were supposed to be the smart one here.
Aegis looks down at you, Leilani. There is something that you fail to see here, which doesn't surprise me. The first thing is we saw that creature, that mock, actually try to fire back at none other than the commander.
And conveniently miss. Or did you not notice that part?
That was not a miss, I suspect.
So you just want to trust it. One of the Light Eater's most prominent minions.
No, I don't. I'm saying that there is some vital information that we can get. And if worse does come to worse, I will take matters into my own hands on this. Looking directly at you, Leilani, we need as much information and any form of advantage. That out there, that is damnation. That is the end. We need everything that we can get. And yes, I hate them as well. But you know the saying, the enemy of my enemy is my friend? Well, we're friends, aren't we, Leilani?
Kind of spits some blood onto Aegis's boot. The fact that out there is damnation for all of our people is the only reason your throat is still intact.
Not the only reason.
See her hand clenching and unclenching on the hilt of the rapier.
Alright.
What are you George talking about? Stop.
You see Wolfie here, starting to shift back into his human form, just contorting and hearing bones cracking and popping, and you see the human version of this Virgil.
Well, Virgil, you ready to leave now?
We can talk about all of this some other time. Right now we need to regroup. Figure out what we're going to do next. These newcomers... they can tag along and be of assistance, as long as they don't get in our way.
Well, clock's ticking. Looking over at
Walk
you,
and
Eve,
talk, people.
as we begin to leave.
Alright. You begin to leave. Go ahead and roll me a group stealth check.
Okay.
2. Natural 1. For a 3 total.
A natural one.
Ah.
Interesting.
Both of my characters get disadvantage.
Are we rolling for everyone or just the original?
Everyone. Well,
Everyone.
I mean, unless the original group decides not to go, and just let them all leave.
You can come or stay. It's up to you.
We're not gonna get anything if we just stick around here.
I know.
They're the only faces we've come closely remotely to see as friendlies. Stick with them, get answers, figure out what the fuck we do next. And we get wherever we need to go to fix this.
Yeah. Yeah. We have to. We have to see this through, even if it's too late. My bard is consistently rolling higher on stealth checks than my rogue that has a plus 10 to stealth. I don't know how to feel about this.
Happens. Trust me. Okay.
I think she's just... Leilani's just really frustrated.
Oh, she's fuming.
I don't know how much more of the conversation between Aegis and Leilani I can handle. Oh my god, burns.
I know.
The fire department needs to be called ASAP.
Man, the sunlight wasn't the only thing that was charring the skin off Leilani's face.
Oh my god.
Gotta get a few stabs back in, you know?
Yes. You proceed onwards. As you actually leave your little nook, you notice that that beam of sunlight has actually started to move around Waterdeep, seemingly searching. But all of you sneak away quickly and quietly. At one point, Bosch kind of stumbles a little bit, but it's nothing too terrible, as anything in the area that would have caught that has seemingly already left to go investigate where the eye is. And eventually, you do make your way slowly out of the city. But I would like Aegis, Wolfjill, and Leilani, and Daitora to make me... an intelligence check, and add proficiency if you're proficient in insight.
Okay.
What if you have expertise in insight?
Then you add that.
Was that a 0? They tour.
But no, I got an 18.
Okay.
I mean, a 19 minus 1.
Because I saw it roll. I saw you roll a intelligence save for one time
Did
already.
it double roll?
It double
It
rolled.
has been double rolling.
That's stupid. So yes, that's a 0. I only saw the 18. Yeah, no, I failed. I don't know why it's doing that.
Interesting.
It sometimes does that if you have multiple browsers open.
Right.
All right. Aegis, are you proficient in insight?
No, I'm not.
You're not, so that's a 19.
Yes.
Damn, just shy of the mark. 20 was the DC for this check. I believe
Yeah.
no one got it, did they?
Nope.
Unfortunate. But eventually you see your goal in sight. Your old pal Grexon, who has been scribbling in the dirt since Datura left, and notices all of you returning. Huh. More of you returned than I thought would. And you haven't. Yes?
Yes. Need some help with that?
No,
Seems like
just
it's gonna take a minute.
just waited until the last line. You weren't followed or anything, were you?
Looks back to the rest of the group.
Oh,
We-
you were.
We were found by these odd ones, and they aided in our escape of none other than the commander being there.
She was here.
Yes.
Right. And obviously the big man themselves made an appearance as well. I imagine all in Pharaoh noticed that. So you vouch for them?
I vouch for them, and I will put it under my responsibility if anything happens.
See to it. All right. He finishes one of the line, and blue arcane energy begins to swirl around this arcane circle. And he motions to all of you, just like, all right, very quickly, this is the only one you get. And he walks into the arcane portal.
He just walks through it.
Leilani follows. Eve will stumble in afterwards, still wiping her eyes.
Datura waits to be the last to go through, ushering the others ahead of him.
Wolfie walks in, and as Virgil passes, Datura notices the outfit and walks in.
Oh, he could smell you from a mile away.
And I assume that Bosch and Tia go in.
Yes, please.
All right. And Datura, last one in. And you all arrive in this darkened chamber, the blue energy expiring behind all of you. Right. Well, welcome back to all of you I sent off. And to the rest of you. Well, opens the door. Welcome to Menzo Baronson.
Oh, shit.
Fucking wow.
Holy
Talk about a mic drop.
Does this name register as familiar?
Oh, yes. Like, it is... Menzo Baronson is infamous. as the
Yeah.
as the home place of the Drow. Has a long history of being viewed as evil, but in the last 100 years or so, actually started to have a bit of a turn thanks to the accounts of several notable Drow coming out of the city. But still had the vibe of maybe don't go there.
Definitely not a vacation spot.
Right. But you gaze upon this vast cavern and these spires of dark steel rising out of the ground, trying to reach up almost like stalagmites. And in the center, you see this giant, glowing stalagmite that reaches up nearly to the ceiling, glowing with this arcane energy that seems to be slowly fading as the minutes tick on. But amongst all the spires, you can see the glittering glows of purple and green and red fairy fires. Whilst a dark reflection of civilization is nonetheless beautiful in its own way. Right. Well, Aegis, I don't need to tell you that Silverhand wishes to speak to you almost immediately about this.
Yes. And for the rest of you, you can stay at my quarters for now and don't try to wander off too far. There needs to be some more talking. That's good.
Right. Sir, Gregson, your name was?
Yes, that's my name.
You seem to be in a position of leadership here. Do you know how many were lost of the city's population?
Of the city? Well, I wasn't actually there. I'm actually a mage of Candlekeep.
Candlekeep?
Mm-hmm. Far south of Baldur's Gate.
Yes, I know. So you do not know either.
I know not much. The one who would know the most would probably be one of the other archmages, or perhaps even some of the other denizens. Let me think. Well, if you could find our representative from Brigandiath, you could probably get a lot of good information from him. As for someone from the city itself, I'm not sure who would be able to speak to you, as Miss Stuth is quite busy. Yagatu.
Stuth? Miss Stuth, you said?
Yes, Nyla Stuth.
We need to talk to her.
Why do you need to talk to her?
Because we know her personally. She was waiting for us. We failed her.
Raises a brow.
She also helped us a few times as well.
Yes. She sent us specifically in search of information that would help against Stilhavity. And we did not make it back to her in time.
Come with me.
Yes.
And walks forward. There really is no time to waste.
One more quick question. Sorry, Gregson.
Yes.
You mentioned the prominent mages of Waterdeep. Was there? Surely there's one among them named Amaranth, the World Weaver.
Hurry
She's
up.
hero, right?
Aegis is already walking off into.
Gregson shrugs. I don't know anyone by that name.
Eve, come on, this is not the time right now.
Right, and Aegis, are you sure? You know that Stuth is quite busy.
I have a gut feeling about something.
Alright, okay, let's go.
Well, Stuth trusts you. You can find her at the usual place at Sorcerer.
And just getting an idea of like the pathway through the city. Which is closer, to delivering to the Silver Hands first, or going to Nyla Stuhl?
Unfortunately, so you have appeared in the area that you would know as the Claw Rift, which is this big kind of chasm area that is actually home to the location of where you would know that Brigand the Earth would be, which is a collection of drow that helped with the evacuation of Waterdeep. You would know that to the south is where Silverhand has been quartered with the head house family, that of House Beanray. Whereas Sorcerer, where a lot of the rest of the mages of Waterdeep and other places have found a home in, is Tia Bresci, which is the school for all of Benzo Baronson, and specifically Sorcerer, the magic school.
Okay.
So unfortunately, they're quite literally the opposite directions.
Okay. And with that knowledge in mind, Aegis is going south to deliver the staff.
Okay.
And on the way, discusses more with you as we're walking and talking. I was actually brought on by Nyla Stuhl during these trying times, and she gave me various and very important missions, this one included.
So you're like an apprentice of hers.
You could say that.
So she's going by her true name now. She was not when we left. Did she ever refer to herself as Miss Sewell?
Did she?
No.
Not that I knew of.
Curious. As we walk, Eve is kind of staring all around at the city for any signs of, like, life that appears to be from the surface.
Where you first start out with, you actually do notice that there does seem to be a real mingling of races, actually. Humans, elves, dwarves, gnomes, even goblinoids, goblins, bugbears, hobgoblins, duergar. It is a real mismatch of races in the initial area, but as you begin to kind of leave that kind of section of the city, you enter and you see less and less of those and see more and more drow. And go ahead and roll me an insight check.
Oof, real bad.
6. honestly, even with a 6, you would get the kind of the feeling that, like, a lot of the drow, most of the drow, you would say, that you see kind of look at you and give you this look of just like, why are you here? Kind of thing. Yeah, a lot of begrudging acceptance and kind of superiority. You see it a lot. Every once in a while, you do see a somewhat neutral face.
Back when we were amongst the people who were more diverse, Eve was, this is weird, above table, knowing that the situation is not what she thinks, but Eve is scanning the crowd for any faces that she would recognize, because she interacted on a daily basis with a very wide array of people throughout Waterdeep, from towns guards to merchants to all sorts of people, sailors.
I would say give me a perception check.
Rolling like shit.
Unfortunately, the route takes you kind of not through the real thick of it, not the real thick of the area that has the mingling, kind of just on the edges of it. So unfortunately, you don't see anyone that you would mark as familiar.
Gotcha.
But yes, you proceed on down, go through the mingling area, then you go through more of a drow area, and then eventually it actually becomes quite sparse. You actually find yourself in kind of almost like, it goes from like almost metropolitan, like crowded city sort of thing, actually kind of reminded you a little bit of Waterdeep itself and how populous it was. And eventually you go out and you're kind of in this field. If you could call it a field, it is underground cracked stone. But you see these beautiful spires almost that have these fairy fires dancing up them. And you can see that Aegis is taking you towards a group of the most lavish and tallest, aside from that one central stalagmite you saw. And eventually you find yourself at a fence. A fence that looks a lot like it's interwoven with steel spiderweb, interesting enough. And as you approach, you hear a cry from above, and you look up and you see a drow upon a lizard, a giant subterranean lizard, crawl down one of the stalagmites and approach the gate. What is your business with House Banray?
Professional business. I need to deliver an item to the Silverhand.
So a guest of honored guest. An elf at that. Very well. You may enter, and the weaving of the fence unweaves itself and allows you to go through.
Gives a slight bow and walks through.
As you walk through, you find yourself very quickly flanked by drow guard, as is pretty much every time you come here. Even after a year, they still don't trust you. But it's certainly a lot better than the initial reception you guys got. They take you through the halls, beautiful dark stone, and just... Many of you have been inside of knoll houses. You've even been inside of castles. Original members remembering the Castle Neverember, as well as the Palace of Heart's Desire. This is like a dark reflection of those noble courts and houses. With instead of white marble, it is this dark obsidian, and instead of bright lights, it's these dark purple flames that just barely give it any light. But as you walk through, you eventually find yourself in this sort of chamber, this circular chamber in a raised dais. And on the dais, you can see that there's a table with a few seats, two of which are filled. One by this, you would, Aegis, know that quite young matron mother Banray, and as well as a figure that a few of you would recognize as Laurel Silverhand.
Is this the same figure that the Dark Waterdeep group saw as the Oblex?
No. The figure that the Oblex took was that of Vajra, the black staff of the time.
Okay.
No. Eve, you would recognize Miss Silverhand. Silverhand was the open lord of Waterdeep when you were there.
Eve is still a mess, but instinctively bows low when she enters the room with her.
Aegis does a slight bow and quickly gets to matters. I have brought the item. And pulls it out from his side.
Silverhand will raise herself from the table and come around to address you directly. Aegis, thank you. You have no idea what this means to all of us. And she will pick up the staff from you.
I hope one day I will.
The day should come soon.
I have other important matters I must attend to as well. I must be leaving post-haste.
I see. The Stuth, no?
Nods.
Well, yes. If you see her, tell her that she can retrieve the staff from me whenever she's ready for it.
That's where I'm headed.
Excellent. I see that you found some additional party members. Kind of glances over all of you. And a twin?
Yes. They showed up in our time of need.
Right. She sort of scans all of you, and Eve, roll me an insight.
Please roll above 6.
When she glances over you, you see the faintest flicker of recognition.
Do I remember having met her before at any
No.
functions or no?
No. Your mother, whilst a very great and powerful mage, never got involved with anything really with politics.
Eve's eyebrows draw together slightly at this in confusion. She wipes some tear stains off of her face.
Come on.
Right. turns her body to follow Aegis, but like her head kind of stays pointed in the direction of Silverhand for just a moment longer before she turns away.
Eve, you hear a voice in your head. It's a new voice, a voice you've never heard before.
Not even from the person who was just talking?
No, it is from someone you've never heard from before.
Oh god.
It is rude to stare at your significance, your higher-ups, your whatever your surface calls it.
Eve blinks and looks around the room. The other person who was in the chair, something that started with a B?
Van Ray.
Van Ray. What does this person look like?
You see this, this very, very well-dressed drow. She sits there, and you can see that she is also looking at you, but kind of more with a scowl on her face. And you can, with the 18 letting it ride, you can tell that's the person that just spoke to your mind.
Mm-hmm. Do I know anything about her? As like, is she a leader figure? Is she a queen? Is she...
Roll history. $15. You... No, that's it. That's not high enough. I mean, you can just tell that they are most definitely important, and definitely important if they're the ones housing Silverhand, which you would assume, given her prior position, would likely be the representative figure of the surface population that is now in Menzoberranzan.
Gotcha.
So clearly important.
Mm-hmm. Does this mental link appear to still be open, or has it closed?
It does not seem to be two-way.
Okay. She gives a slight bow of her head in the direction of this woman and just turns away and walks out.
Alright. You are escorted outside of the premises a bit quicker than you were let in. And you find yourself once again outside the webbed fence of House Banray.
It'll be a bit of a long walk up to the other side of the capital.
And you begin that walk. Once again, entering into that, the more populous region, and it actually, the path that you must take, actually leads you into the most bustling part of the city, a place called the Bazaar, where basically all of the trade that happens between Menzoberranzan and Blingdenstone and all sorts of other Underdark communities trade in. And you can see that even with everything that's happening up on the surface, it still is a bustling place. And you can see that even some surface dwellers have been making progress towards mercantile here. You can roll another perception check if you want. With that, you actually do see someone familiar. And it was the last thing you expected to see familiar. You see, kind of tucked in an alleyway, but still in the area of the bazaar, you can see people kind of going into this alleyway and then ducking into a door. And it's when the door swings open and you see the face of it. You see a mug with a weasel popping out of it.
Eve stops in her tracks and kind of like punches the arms of Virgil and Bosch. Guys!
Ow!
Points.
What the fuck was that about?
Look!
What?
Do you see that? Through that door!
She points out the door, and you see the door, a very familiar one.
I mean, I think we kind of got to know.
Sorry, Aegis, was it?
Yes. Turns back.
So sorry, could we pause for just a quick moment, please?
No.
Just...
Continues walking forward. If you want so desperately to go, you can always walk back here.
Alright, fine.
God, I'm really missing Veritas. This guy's a fucking dick.
He's lived in a very different world for the past year. I can't say I blame him.
Can't just wait 30 seconds. We literally just have to go in the door and see if anyone we know is in there.
Time is of the essence, I suppose. We'll make a mental note of where this is. Hopefully it'll still be here when we come back.
How do we know that?
We don't. But at least this means that Tommen's alright. Probably.
Does it?
It's his place.
Tommen was taken by... He is currently
It's been a year.
on trial.
It's been a year, Veritas.
And the problem is, Lush was
Virgin.
the only one. The other two? Safe, supposedly. Lush is the only one we don't know about.
Well, we'll find out. We'll find out later.
If this door is not here when we come back, I'm going to be royally more pissed.
It's probably more important that we speak with Miss Stool. For now.
I don't even know if this Nestol is even Nestol. I hate to tell you this, but if you look around, like that woman said, my clone is walking around and he's a fucking wolf.
Yes, and it's very strange, and I have no idea what's going on, and I can't process. I cannot process this right now. But it's all we can do. What else can we do?
Fine, fucking let's catch up to crab ass up there, alright?
Yeah, let's go. Come on.
All right. All of you make the journey, and eventually it begins to thin once again. But now, instead of magnificent stalagmite manors, you instead see 3 oddly shaped buildings. To the right, you see this building in the shape of a pyramid. You can see a lot of male drow walking in and out of that place. A few... how to put this? I actually don't know how to put it. I completely lost my train of thought. On the left, you see this, what looks almost like a traditional wizard's tower, except fairly large. Kind of this bulbous sort of dome that lifts up into this large tower. But the one that probably catches all of your eyes the most is the center building. the building that is in the shape of a giant spider. And for that one, you can see a lot of more effeminate drow walking in and out of that particular one. But Aegis leads you off to the left, towards the more traditional-looking building, and leading you through many of the halls, eventually leads you outside the door that you know to be the area that Stuth was assigned.
Okay. Welcome back, Colin.
Well, thank you.
Yay.
Getting to the front of the door, takes a deep breath, looks back at the rest of you. I'm putting my neck on the line for you all. I hope this information is vital, as you say it is.
That's what we were told. By her specifically.
Before we go in, or whatever the fuck you're about to do, got a question. Miss Stool, does she wear dark cloak, covers her face, and wields a staff?
Does that sound like Nyla Stool?
No.
Not that I know.
1 second, please. My group. Just sidebar over here, please. Bosh. Can we talk real quick?
Yeah.
So what's up?
Yeah. And we're gonna, walk back from where we are, giving us plenty of space between apocalyptic and regular group. My memory served me. I described Miss Stoll the only way we've ever seen her. Both times at the Wandering Weasel. Am I wrong, Eve? Bosh?
No.
Sounds about right.
Yay. Who the fuck are we about to go talk to? And
What?
if we don't give them information, we're up Shit's Creek.
Virgil, just because she doesn't look like we remember her looking doesn't necessarily mean it's not her. I mean, she wore a dark cloak and covered her face to, hide what she looked like. Maybe she just stopped doing that. We don't even know what she looks like.
But we've only seen her that way, that's it. And fucking stick up his ass over here just said no, that's not fair to Stool. We're not even seeing what if oh my god, I have a headache from everything. What if we're not talking to the person we need to, and then we give them this information and it just goes to shit?
I mean, sounds like we should find out who this person is at least.
Yeah, but we're walking in there. The guy said it himself. He's putting his neck on the line. We can't walk in there empty-handed if this isn't the person.
I know, but I don't know what to do then, Virgil. What should we do?
We need... What was the last thing Natasha said to you before leaving?
The last thing?
That... The deal you made with her.
Well, about how I can't go back there or quote, plain hop until I've spoken with my mother. That's the last part I remember.
Shouldn't we be finding her?
We should. We do need to find her, absolutely. But think that that's been at the top of my mind, Virgil, to find my family since the moment we got here?
No, honestly, it seems like you're more worried about the dead count.
I mean, not to be too blunt, but couldn't that be the same thing?
Yes, it could.
Listen, there's people back in Neverwinter that I served with and I miss. But I haven't talked to them for years, and if they're dead, I can't do anything about it. What I can do is try to figure out everything that we've been gifted, information and item-wise, figure a solution out, and get back on track to stopping the sun now.
Virgil, with all due respect, we don't know anything about Neverwinter. You didn't just arrive in your home to find it burned to the ground and all of its inhabitants missing. This was my city. There was more than just my family here. There were so many people here. Good people. Hardy people. People I knew. It's not just about my family here, Virgil. It's about everyone. It's about Waterdeep.
But I stand by my statement. You can't help the dead.
Wouldn't you want to know how many of the people you care about were lost?
You saw what happened. You were there, in that cemetery, with those two fucking entities, just laughing at me digging up my grave. You saw when I wanted to know. I warned Bosch about getting his memories back. I'm warning you right now. The answers you're looking for, be careful. And I mean thoroughly think about it. Because your whole world can come crumbling down. And then what good are you to us? Or to them? If you can't handle that truth, that fact.
Eve was opening her mouth angrily to retort. And when he mentioned what good would you be to us or to them, just this distressed expression passes over her face and her mouth just closes and she just looks down. Scrubs at her face. Then what do you fucking propose we do?
This is a war. You haven't noticed? This is it. Everyone we cross through, all the people that we're seeing, that is it. We need to start acting like this is a fucking war, because it is. And in war, there are tragedies and casualties. We can't take back. We're no longer hunting dragons or killing goblins or doing anything that we did what feels like years ago. We're saving every race now. We have to think strategically about all our choices.
I understand. And I will lay my life down for all of these people, if need be. But I didn't ask you to wax poetic about this war that we find ourselves in, Virgil. I asked for a plan.
Plan, find your fucking mother and get answers. Because that's the last thing someone that literally opened up space and time itself told us to do.
What makes you think, if this isn't the same Miss Stool, that the same Amaranth will be here? If you don't trust her existence, why do you trust my mother's existence?
Because Natasha told you to find her, to talk to her. That's all I'm going off of. Someone that powerful, someone that runs an entire plane, telling you to do something.
Virgil, do you know
fucking do
why?
it.
Do you know why she told me that? To find my mother and talk to her? She told me to do that because I was digging for information about who my mother really is, and who I am, and what this massive, confusing web of interactions is between everyone above my head. Okay? That has nothing to do with stillhavity. We are getting off topic. Our goal was to find what we needed from Natasha and deliver it back to Miss Stu. That was our goal. Everything else was my own personal indulgence. Do you suggest that I follow that after that whole lovely little speech you just gave about ignorance is bliss and I'm more useful ignorant right now? Make up your goddamned mind.
So you're just gonna blindly ignore the orders.
Eve throws her hands up in the air in frustration and turns away. Fine, fine.
You go through that door, you're going in there alone. Because I'm not going in there. And Virgil's gonna walk back to the bazaar.
I stayed pretty quiet, but for what it's worth, I know he had a hard time, but I think he might be wrong. I mean, it was hard for me finding out all that I did about who I was and things I've done. It hurt, but I think I'm a better person for it. I think worse to not know. But, maybe he just needs some time to cool off. I know he gets pissed off, and yeah. Not sending you in there alone, though. We'll be there.
Eve looks up at Bosch with eyes brimming with moisture. Thanks, Bosch.
I mean, he's yeah.
I've always believed that anyone who thinks that ignorance is bliss just doesn't realize that the truths that are the most difficult and the most painful to hear are usually the ones that are the most important for us to know. And even though that's always been my belief, and it certainly turned out to be true in your case, I don't know, Bosch, what I'll do. if I find the answers I'm looking for, only to learn that my family is all gone. That all the people I know and love here are gone. I think Virgil is right. I won't be of any use to any of you. If this turns out badly, and I was the one who pushed us to go into prison here in the first place. If it hadn't been for that year that we lost, I can't afford to think about that right now either. I can't afford to think about anything right now. I just need to focus on what we're doing next. I know where Virgil's coming from, but I still think that this is our best option right now. I don't know what to do if this Nistool is not our Nistool. I don't know why there are so many people here that aren't our people, even though they look like them. But I don't know what else to do. I really think it's our best chance. So
I think you're right. I mean, also, like, Virgil's not wrong. We shouldn't just trust this person because she has the same name. I mean, I saw that thing that looked like Chelavi. But
yeah,
better to know. You know, to say a couple things. Whatever we find out, it's probably gonna hurt going through it. It'll be better at the end. You can't just deny a part of yourself. And another thing, it's not all about how you're not just worthwhile for your use. There's more to life than that. I know we're in a bad spot right now, but deny yourself and put everyone else before yourself.
I appreciate
More than
that.
that.
Thank you, Bosch. I appreciate that, but considering everything, I owe it to these people more than just being myself. I owe it to them to be of some use. What remains of this place is still my city, my home. I want to do everything in my power to help them. And if that means putting off an inevitable truth that I must and will face at some point, in the meanwhile, I will. Will you come with me in there?
I'll come with you.
Thank you. I guess let's start by trying to get some information about this Nistool.
Scrubs her eyes.
By this point, has Aegis just receded to the horizon?
Oh. So if you walk back you would see that Aegis is actually taken some like cloth and like wrapped it around his arms. You see that there's no more like blood stains or anything like that or dirt. It's like he's cleaned himself off in the time that you get back. He actually looks like he just took a bath or like just got cleaned pretty well. Looks over. One of you decided not to come back?
Virgil has some reservations. Understandably, things are very confusing of late.
Yes. I have my own reservations, but as things are and as things stand, any help is help worth taking up.
Then we will share what helpful information we can.
All right. He just goes to the door and knocks.
You knock, and you hear from inside the voice saying, "Enter."
Opens the door and heads inside. Yeah.
Walking inside, you can see that this is a small little office that the Drow Sorcerer have put aside for not just Nyla, but also her partner wizards as well. But you can see her off in her kind of main area in the back. She's got her back to you. She's looking through a tome and she's kind of leaning against her desk, but facing away from you. I heard that you had returned, Aegis.
Yes, I completed the mission.
Yes, most excellent. I assume you already went to Silverhand? I heard that she got the word ahead of me.
Yes. Also, I met some strange individuals who say that they know you and have important information.
And as Eve and Bosch enter, you see a woman, looks to be human, in this sort of purple wizard gown robe combination. She kind of gestures, and you see that she actually has painted fingernails purple, and the kind of like the sleeves that go all the way up past the wrists, and as well as what looked to be once scarlet hair, but has turned a bit gray. But she turns towards you, and her face, most interesting, Eve. Because how could you ever forget the face of your mother? She looks at you, Eve, and she drops her book.
What? You said she was human.
Yes.
What? How? Mother?
She kind of slowly walks over to you and immediately buries you in a deep hug. Oh. I thought I'd lost you.
Eve is completely baffled and yet still can't help herself from just bursting into tears and just clinging onto her shoulders.
I've missed you so much. Amaranth, you have no idea how good it is to see you.
What?
We're gonna cut to Virgil. Virgil, you've kind of walked off to go to the Wandering Weasel, I'm presuming.
Yep, that's the only place that's familiar to him in this fucking world.
Cool. Roll me a survival check to see how well you can navigate.
Okie dokie. Not good at all, which makes sense.
Right. Unfortunately, you get lost. Woefully lost. And you're turning down one alleyway and just like, nope, not here. Another alleyway, could have sworn it was this one, but nope, no door. And you're beginning to wonder if your worst fears have come true, if the door has eventually moved. And you eventually turn down one hallway, so frustrated you kick over a can, and you hear from behind you, well, that's not very nice, now is it? Kicking over cans because you're frustrated.
Listen, not looking at whoever's talking, I'm beyond not in the mood right now. So please just, I don't know, pick a different target, go bother someone else, I don't care.
You hear the obnoxiously loud click of boots approaching you. Well, I mean, it's clear that you are obviously a new person to the city, upset. I was merely wondering if I could just offer you a drink, hospitality and all that. I happen to know a pretty nice place.
Listen, man, I'm just trying to find the fucking tavern that has a mug and a weasel's in the fucking mug. You can't help me? Move on.
Oh, the Wandering Weasel. Exactly the place I was thinking of.
You'll turn around to see who is talking.
You turn around to see a drow. But this drow... the most
Damn.
ostentatious looking drow you've ever seen.
Wow,
Where?
you shined in darkness.
I know. One of my featured traits. Now, come, my friend. Right at the back, you can see that he kind of has this leather jerkin on, going all the way, and has a very nice wear on him. Despite living in the Underdark, he wears this wide brim hat with a feathered plume coming out of it, and has this shimmering cape behind it that almost seems to shift in color.
You definitely like your accessories.
I've been told this. Anyway, come along. It is on.
Lead the way.
The drinks are on me. I've been meaning to get a drinking buddy. Athergate's been so bleh lately. And you literally turn one corner and you're at the Weasel.
I fucking hate this place so much. This is almost worse than Prismere. Almost. Not quite, though.
I do not know what this Prismere is, but you'll find some...
It's a hellhole.
You'll find some friends of not liking this place, I'm sure. Anyway, come on in. As you enter, welcome to the Wandering Weasel. Ah, Jarlaxle, good to see you again. Hello, my friend. Tom and So much energy, this one. I found someone out, I believe, looking for your tavern, guided him in. Oh, I thank you.
He just stops in the doorway and stares at Tommen. You are a sight for these sorest eyes, my friend. And he walks towards the counter where he normally would sit if no one is sitting there.
As you walk towards the counter, right off the bat, you notice one peculiar difference. You do not see Lush. Instead, sitting in the spot where Lush would be, you see a dwarf in this kind of rigid kind of plate armor, and you see that he has 2 morning stars strapped to his back with glass heads. But he's enjoying a pint, and he seems to be very much enjoying his time. Found another one wandering in, eh, Jalaxel?
Confused at the dwarf sitting in Lush's spot. I'm gonna let that slide real quick. It's been so long, it feels like, since I've seen you, Tommen. It's nice to see an old face.
Oh, that's good to hear. So, where have you been?
Fucking feels like everywhere. Actually, how was your trial?
Trial?
Yeah. The trial that...
Oh, yes, that trial. All right, so long ago. Well, I'm here, aren't I?
Well, yeah, but I mean, what happened? It feels like ages ago, but also just like yesterday that we were standing outside this tavern in Neverwinter before you got hauled off.
This may be a difficult thing to explain.
I mean, we are in a tavern, and I'm already, like, maxed out on bullshit today. So if you're about to tell me you're gonna overflow that cup, I'm gonna need a few rounds.
That sounds like an excellent idea. And he reaches under the bar, pulls up a mug, and plants it down, already full with ale.
Yeah, that'll do too, I guess. I should forget my order. It has been a year.
Oh,
You'll start drinking it.
right. Sorry, it's been a while.
No, it's fine. No, this is fine. I can consume it. I just rather not sometimes. But right now, I feel like I might need this.
Right. As you drink, he will start his explanation. So, do you recall Cass and her sister? Yes.
That's hard to forget those two.
Right.
That almost killed me.
Right. And you remember how they were having a conversation about echoes and that of that. How there are different layers to the material plane.
Yeah, somewhat. I mean,
Right.
kind of fuzzy when she wants to kill you.
Right. And she was also speaking about how some beings are aware of these and even have a connection with their fellow layer mates? Copies? Never found a good term aside from echo, but I don't know. It seems a bit... Makes it seem like there's a right one, but there really isn't.
Oh, he's going to just chug a good fourth of this fucking mug. Yeah, okay, so you're telling me that, are you saying that you're not Tommen, but you are Tommen?
Exactly.
I'm gonna need a double.
Oh, sure. And takes the mug, puts it down, fills it up, brings it back.
Is that why I'm literally been traveling as someone else that has my face?
That would be correct.
Well, this isn't my city. My version.
Sort of.
Of this Drow city. I fucking hate traveling through portals. I'm never doing it again except for one last time, maybe. Okay. I'm going to get plastered how we do this step by step.
Right.
I'm going to tell you some things. You're going to explain.
Certainly.
And Virgil is just going to be like, this is what we did the last time we saw you, and now we're here.
Right. So it sounds like you had a blue veil spell casted over you, and something went wrong.
You can say that, yeah.
Did you consider that maybe it didn't?
Man, I hope not, because I'm praying that it did. Otherwise, we are totally fucked with everything we set out to do.
Oh, what do you mean? You went out, you collected the thing you were supposed to collect, and you've returned. And seemingly returned it to the correct person.
I'm not sure about that. Echoes and all, right? I mean, does it still count if it's not the original that asked us to do it?
He shrugs.
It's not helping, man. Slams another mug. You're supposed to be like super smart. You're supposed to know all.
Oh. I appreciate the compliment.
I mean, just so you know, we did protect Wilhelm and Sully. You're safe. But I've been meaning to ask you, where the fuck is Lush?
Oh.
And why is there a dwarf sitting in her seat? No offense, guy.
You have a problem with the dwarf, and I'll take you down to the wharf. Wahaha.
Fuck.
Don't
no problem.
Don't worry about him. He does that. You see as Jarlaxle is sitting on the other side of Athergate.
Lush, like Appendor.
Right. Well,
Where is she?
so the thing about echoes is that there's not always the same echo. Sometimes there's not even an echo in certain places. Such as here, there is no echo of Lush.
Okay. I'm pretty self-explanatory. I'm literally walking around, I was walking around traveling with mine. Still trying to wrap my head around that, even with the explanation. I haven't seen Bosch is possibly.
Oh, well, he's busy.
Bosch?
Jarlaxle kind of squints at you. You mean Lord of the Hunt Wintersbane? Or, no, no. What the fuck is... What's Bosch's last name?
Whittlestone?
Whittlestone. Sorry. It's so close to Virgil's and got confused. You mean Lord of the Hunt Whittlestone?
You know, I was believing that for a second. I was about to go, what the fuck?
No shit, I was gonna be like, not another.
No, I said it left my mouth and I'm just like, no, that's wrong.
Sure. I mean, he did just receive his title.
Last I heard, he was still on the front line between the Feywild and the Material Plane.
Just for clarification, we are talking about really tall, half-orc, built like a brick shit house, giggles when he's pissed off.
I don't know about the giggling, but all the other things seem to track.
Some weird shit happens when he gets into fights. Like lights come out of his chest and he can just poof around. Same guy.
I don't think I've ever seen him fight. And I feel like I would have heard about lights. Sounds interesting for sure. But no,
Right,
Bosch Whittlestone is the Lord of the Hunt and current commander of the Summer Queen's army.
That's a new one. I'd rather not explore that route, but okay. Okay, if you know about Bosch, what about Eve? You guys remember Eve?
Jarlaxle and Athergate look at each other like, you do know you need to be more specific than that, right?
Yeah, sorry. She's short, halfling, last name, Harkett, I think her last name is.
No, doesn't ring a bell.
Okay, I guess I might fall under the... There might not be one for her. I mean, if it helps, she came from Waterdeep.
Nope, still doesn't ring a bell. I've lived in Waterdeep many years, and nope, never heard of any Harkat whatsoever. What were they, some sort of adventurer, mercenary?
Kind of did it all, really. A Jill of all trades, really. She mostly told stories and made sure people were doing alright, even if she wasn't. Oh, fuck. What was her mother's name? Does the name Amarith mean anything to anyone?
Roll an insight. Good luck. That's a really good roll.
1 second. Let's see if I do one better. Luck point. Fuck it.
Okay.
One better.
You did do
Wow.
one better. You did do one better.
It was almost going to be a 15. I decided to fuck me.
You get the faintest recognition from Jarl Axel. Why do you want to know about someone named Amaranth?
Well, see, if I remember correctly, that's my friend Eve's mother, and we're trying to find her.
I'm sorry. You just said that Amaranth was a mother.
That's what I've heard, and that's what I've kind of been told. Not directly, but in the vicinity of.
I think I would have known if Amaranth had a daughter.
Well, you seem to know her, so.
Knew
Tell me
her.
about her. What do you mean by that?
Well, Amaranth was a gifted in the arcane. Very gifted. So much so that it very much was looking like she was going to be the next Blackstaff after Vajra. But then, you know, the end of the world and all that.
Yeah, that kind of puts a damper on everything.
Yes. Being so prominent in Arcane, I made sure to keep an eye on her. Important people are useful, you know. But yes, unfortunately, she died in the attack on Blackstaff Tower. Tore her mother apart.
Okay, hold on. I need another pint, please, thank you.
There's already one in front of you.
No. So, Emerith was in line to be the next top tier Blackstaff, whatever the fuck that is.
That is correct.
But died in the attack.
Yes.
Waterdeep?
Yes. Bit of a long story that. When the attack happened, the Blackstaff and its mages sought to have the city escape through the fastest means necessary. I mean, the furniture was literally coming alive. And so they needed a place to put everything, and so I offered my services and pointed out Menzo Baranzan.
You never thought my first trip down here, or my only trip down here, would be during an apocalypse.
Well, when the sun goes away on the surface, go where there never has been.
Can't fight you there. Alright, you said it devastated her. Who's her mother? Then?
That would be Archmage Stuth.
Fucking kidding me.
Another very gifted magi.
Yeah. I think I just left that area. I'm not entirely sure.
I know.
Got turned around in a few of your fucking alleyways. Shit, sorry, I'm already getting kind of drunk. What was your name? Jacqueline? Jackal?
Jalaxel.
Yeah, that one. Can you do me a favor?
Depends. What is the favor?
You're really good at finding people because you found my lost ass.
Mm-hmm.
There's gonna be 3 people that I need you to find and bring back here. So I'm gonna sit and drink my sorrows and my troubles away for a bit.
Oh, what's in it for me?
Oh, I think. Oh no, you want to flash that constantly fills with blood?
I turned
That was
down
a gift from him, by the way.
turned down vampirism a while back.
Wait, you can what? Huh? Turn it down? Like you just killed a bunch of vampires, or did someone actually?
No, a vampire made an offer to me, and I declined.
I've never heard that.
You get around when you're 500. How old am I? Time flies.
Oh god, I don't want to do that. That'll suck ass for me, hardcore.
Hmm. Is there something you want to do,
Can
Virgil?
I do an insight check to see if this guy would backstab me in any form?
Roll insight?
I just want to see if he's, like... Obviously he's a little shifty, but I want to know if it's, like, trustworthy or not at all. Where the fuck was that when I needed it earlier?
Spoiler, that wouldn't have been high enough either.
Yeah, I figured it'd be like a 30.
This time you're able to kind of read him as he's kind of rambling on. You are staring at undoubtedly the most peculiar person you've ever met. And trying to read him. You can tell that he won't necessarily backstab you, but you're a fool to trust him.
Yeah. Well, if you do me this favor and find the 3 that I'm looking for, one of them will be really familiar to you if you know Bosch. Because there's a Bosch here.
An echo
He's
or
traveling.
something like we were talking about with Tommen, yes?
Yeah, and then there's a
Very
Small.
interesting.
halfling girl. She'll be with him. And a very attractive human female will be next to the F-Orc Bosch.
Interesting.
They'll be traveling with, what was that big bag's name again? Agus?
Aegis.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah. He really needs to remove that stick. Be traveling with him, but I don't need him. I just need those 3. And a few others. But they're consequential. Fuck them.
Okay.
And if you return with only those 3, when they get here, we will figure out a payment. And it will be worth your while. I promise you.
Roll a persuasion check.
This is the one character I forgot this. And I'm not about to go full butterfly for this. Sorry. 15!
15.
Mediocre, but it's really good for me.
Okay, I think I do have something that you could do for me. Something unique to you.
Oh,
I
favor,
will.
okay.
I will return with your friends post haste. And he kind of sweeps into a large bow, swinging his cap over his heart. And you can actually see one other notable thing about this drow that is notable from all of his kin is that he's bald. This is the only bald drow you've ever seen.
I was going to say anything about seeing that.
And he, with a swoosh of his cape, he walks out the door.
That guy is really extra, Tommy. Did you know that? He could have just like bowed and left, but he did all the wavy thing. I'm gonna need more.
As more appears, and you've noticed that Athrogate has slid up next to you and is also matching you drink for drink.
Not a competition, my guy. I'm just processing a lot, okay? By the way, why the fuck are your weapons made of glass?
Hey, they're glass steel, me boy. And I was wondering, you're one of them vampires?
Yeah, you could say that. Not by choice. By any means of that.
Aye, one of those, huh? Well, then it's a wonder you're still around.
What, are we extinct?
Oh no, you're kinda thriving, but most that don't want to dine end up dying themselves, if you get my drift.
The reason you got closer to me, I don't swing that way, sorry.
Oh no, no. I'm not interested in anyone.
To be honest, I feel like if I even attempted to try and, if you're anything like Lush, it won't go well for me. I've seen her very big, quiet, very fast for how big she was. I don't stand a chance.
This
Yeah,
Lush
you're
sounds like
badass.
someone I would have liked to have met. In more than one way.
Good luck with that one, cause I didn't see no. She shut everything down pretty hard. All she did was sit in the stool that you were in.
Then she's never
Drink.
met a dwarf. We're
Probably
stubborn as stone. And just as likely.
Yeah, she was built like a mountain.
Well, you know what we dwarves
Like
do with
fighting
the mountains.
Hide on your own.
And I'm gonna leave it there as we cut back to to the rest of the party. Yeah, but yeah, that's Athrogate. Bit crass. Returning back to the scene of Nyla Stuth reaching down and giving Eve a hug and calling her Amaranth. When the tower fell, I thought that I'd lost you.
What? When the tower... What? I'm so confused right now. What? Why did you call me that? What are you talking about with the tower? Where's Dad? First, where is he? Is he alright?
And it is Nyla's turn to be confused. Your dad?
Yeah. If you're here, then surely he's also here somewhere, right? He made it out, he's okay? You made sure he was okay, right? Was he with you at the El Torchul Academy, or was he in his bookshop? Did you make it to it?
Kind of looking at you a bit more closely. I don't know what you're talking about, Amaranth.
Why are you calling me that? That's not my name. You're not.
Oh.
Why do you look human? Why? What's going on?
I'm sorry, I must have, maybe I was mistaken. My name is Nyla Stuth. You bear a striking resemblance to my daughter, Amaranth Stuth. And you're saying that's not you?
Amaranth Stuth? Amaranth is your... Amaranth is my mother's name. Amaranth Harkett. Who... Nyla Stuth. Miss Stuhl. You're this world's Miss Stuhl. Why do you look so much like my mother? What is going on? Is this...
Pieces start clicking into place in Eve's head.
Miss Nyla.
Yes.
They also mentioned that I had a striking resemblance to someone that they knew as well.
Someone that they knew?
They are very curious and
interesting.
I had a feeling that it was important for them to meet you.
Quite possibly, and she kind of wipes her eyes, clear of the tears. Right. Can you tell me a bit more about where they came from?
I'm not entirely sure. As we were running out of the tower, they showed up inexplicably outside and aided in our escape.
I see.
I didn't ask this, but how did you get here?
It was just some magic. We were supposed to be going back to where Eve is from. It was the Blenna who helped us. We were in her realm in Prismere.
I don't think that's where we wound up.
And this magic, this spell that you used, what was it specifically?
Eve does not break eye contact with Nyla and watches her.
The dream of the blue whale.
She returns the look.
We were sent back to what was supposed to be my home with a very powerful spell called the Dream of the Blue Veil that can send someone across not just planes, but time and space, worlds even. But it seems we may have been sent somewhere entirely different, and yet not, somehow.
And we didn't all end up in the same spot. Azrakul and Veritas. I don't know where they are.
When the spell was cast, when we were in the portal falling, our path seemed to diverge in two. We fell down this route. I wonder then if Veritas and Gazrakul
Looks at Bosch.
if they wound up in the right place, in my home. In the right time?
It's possible.
Looks back at Nyla.
Where we came from, we were sent to Prismeer to interact with a powerful figure at the behest of Miss Stool, an alias of someone named Nyla Stool, from where we came from. But we spoke with her many times, and she didn't look like you. She hid her face and...
Max, did Miss Stool's voice sound like this person's voice, or did that sound different as well?
Roll a history check. It's a perfect match.
We never saw her face, but her voice sounded just like yours. She sent us there in search of information that would help prevent Stillhabity from doing damage. This doesn't sound familiar at all to you, Miss Stool.
I'm afraid not.
Shite.
But what you're talking about does fall in line with what my partner's researching.
Your partner?
Yes. She has done quite a bit of extensive research on planar travel and such. She is more of the expert on this than I.
Her name wouldn't happen to be Natasha, would it?
She gives this look of complete and utter surprise. Yes.
Ugh. Gods, what a headache. Yeah, that's who we were sent to interact with by this other you. Yes.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Two different worlds, but still the same problem.
Except where we come from, the problem hasn't, glances back at Bosch. We might still be in time. Looks back at Nyla. It hasn't escalated to this degree yet. Still Habity is still in the early stages of returning. He hasn't launched any grand scale attacks like this back where I'm from. We were trying to stop something like this from happening. We might not be too late.
If you can get back.
It does seem like your arrival here was planned.
I have no idea why we ended up here. This is not... That spell. I was the target of that spell, and it's supposed to send a person back to wherever the target was born or made. I don't know why we wound up here instead of there.
Just leaves more questions than answers.
I'm guessing maybe the planet didn't tell you everything. Or she thought that showing you would be better than telling you.
This... showing us this with no context?
Yeah.
I thought that everyone I knew and loved was dead. If this was her plan, then I'm gonna have some fucking words with that woman when we get back. Archfey or not.
Archfey?
Yeah, everyone we know who seems to have another version of themselves here, they're similar and very different in some ways. So if that's not the case for the one you know, that's probably why.
Understood. This is a lot. And whilst under normal circumstances, I would absolutely dedicate to trying to help you in your endeavors. Trying to, and helping Natasha as well. Unfortunately, we are in the midst of our most important project since this all began. We are mere days from enacting our plan to seal away Still Happening.
Oh, so you have everything you need to do that now?
With the Black Staff, yes.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And you hear a knock at the door. Enter, and opening the door, you see a drow. Looks to be a courier of some kind. Miss Silverhand thought it was important that you got this early, and he has the Black Staff, and walks over to deliver it. Eve, roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Uh-oh.
Cool. He walks by, and you grab the staff.
Oh!
and you hear in your mind, why did I come back? And you fall unconscious. And that's where we end the session.
What the fuck?
Well,